So it seems like they really heard the message when it comes to Invincible's release schedule. I talked about this a while ago, but it just felt like season 2 was basically a total misfire. Not even really for story reasons. I'd say it's a very solid season 2 of Invincible, but I'll tell you what the problems are with it. They make us wait nearly 3 years to get season 2. They release 4 episodes 1 week to week, make us wait another 5 months for the other half of the season, and then it all equates to basically a setup season. Has a lot of good stuff. It introduces Angstrom Levy, Oliver, some very important plot threads to Invincible as a story, but it ultimately feels like setup for what season 3 is going to do in going just all out. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to spoil the story for anybody. I have read every Invincible comic, so I do know what's going to happen. I know what it's leading to, and I will say season 3 I think will be the most extreme, will have the most going on, and I think probably the best payoffs of the series so far. But with that said, season 2 really killed the momentum of this show. I think that a lot of people lost interest because they released it in such a janky way. They released it in a way that kind of leaves you on the hook for long periods of time, just scraping the barrel for any new content. And then when you finally got to it, it just wasn't enough to really justify the wait. These aren't long seasons, and just leaving you to wait so long and then giving you a little bit and then making you wait again just felt crazy to me. But in a total reversal, we're getting season 3 10 months after the end of season 2, and not only are we getting that, we get 3 episodes premiering February 6th, and then the rest of the season on a week-to-week basis after it, just like the first season. God damn, that's a total difference. You could see it all over social media too. I remember when there was such a long gap between hearing anything about season 2 that basically the comments were totally flooded with people being like, what's going on here? What's up with the wait? I think that season 2 just overall they mismanaged so badly as they released it, kind of the way that they gave it to us. I think that they would have been better off, even if they needed more time, just waiting that extra 5 months and releasing the whole season together on a week-to-week basis maybe. I even remember when I thought, oh, we're finally gonna get season 2 kind of soonish. It was the beginning of 2023 and they released a teaser, only for you to find out that the teaser didn't have any footage from season 2 and that we weren't getting it until the end of the year, which is like, come on man, why even like get us excited, get our hopes up if you're just gonna do that? And this really does go to talk about how weird the model of television is now, where they used to do stuff like release 24 episodes of a show in a year. Now you're lucky if you get an 8-episode television season once every 2 or 3 years. And I understand, I don't want to rush animators or do any of that, but Invincible's not overly complicated. Actually, it gets a lot of flack because it's a very simple looking show. It's very simple hand-drawn animation. It doesn't look particularly great. The movement of the characters is, I don't want to say wooden, but it's very stiff. You wouldn't think that they would need all of this time to make this show, but I think that they just kind of ended up dragging their feet on season 2 for a while. When things got to be as popular as they were, they just didn't end up actually putting things into motion for a long time, and they definitely took their sweet fucking time with season 2. It seems like the production schedule and some of those ruts that they had to overcome, some of those things that they needed to tweak to be more efficient are actually getting done now. And even Robert Kirkman said that he's hoping to get out 1 season a year for the rest of the show's run. That would be great. And the fact that they're giving us this with season 3, I think is really a gesture of goodwill. It feels like an overcorrection almost. Not that I'm complaining about getting Invincible season 3 like this, but it really does feel like it's an apology almost for the way that they released season 2. I think also they had some difficulty with viewership because they just tanked that momentum. It felt like every time you were getting invested in the show and getting excited for what was coming next, you kind of just got kicked down and faced with another delay. I feel like they just kept teasing you without actually giving you anything that was satisfying enough to be worthy of that wait. And hopefully those times are over. It seems like they really are focused on getting this production schedule worked out consistently once every year, having a season, which is a big change. And I think that season 3 really does need to win back a lot of people. Even just talking in private conversations, it felt like season 2 didn't have as much hype because they kept kicking the can down the road and, giving you little teases, making you think something was going to happen, only for you to find out you'd have to wait another 6 months, another year, whatever, to actually get anything. On pretty much every level, it was just a bad idea to split this season up and do the part 1, part 2 thing, especially considering they're 4 episodes. That is not a lot. And when you're waiting for over 3 years, people's attention goes awry. People look elsewhere. I'll tell you that much. A lot of shows come and go, and when you keep people on the hook for so long, they're only going to be loyal for so long before they find something else to get interested in. And that's why you have to keep momentum. You have to keep building story and keeping people wanting to come back for more. But when you give people all this excitement, only to not reward that excitement and make people wait so long for a setup season, it just creates issues with the fans, and you're going to get them more frustrated and they're going to check out. That's what seems like has happened to a lot of people with this whole season 2 debacle. So I think that season 3 is them really just attempting to get people back on board and showing that they're interested in building this momentum and continuing this story in a way that is satisfying to fans and will deliver in a way that they're not just continually getting you excited only to give you nothing. And again, season 2 wasn't bad. And if it was released under ordinary circumstances, like a year after the first season and it was 1 episode a week, I don't think anybody would have complained. But just the constant kicking the can down the road, the constant teases, not lying, but just keeping people on the hook and waiting the whole time, only for it to not be as satisfying as it could have been. It was very foolish. Season 2 did not justify the wait that it had, and although being a very solid continuation of Invincible's story, I think season 3 is going to be where it's really at, and thankfully they're giving it to us so soon after season 2. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it works out. I hope it wins the fans back, because I'd like to see 10 seasons of Invincible. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm GM Light. Have a good one.